All right. Let's see if anyone is here. It is the holiday weekend, and I know a lot of people are probably spending time with their families. Meanwhile, I'm on the live here, so I'll give YouTube a second to send the notification out to see if anyone will come join on the chat. If you do, say hello in the chat box, and I will respond, or maybe not. Oh, someone is here. Is it warm where y'all are at? Oh, hi, Catherine. How are you? Oh, hey, Ghibli. Oh, you hit me up on IG about your order? Okay, let me see. I haven't been on. I've been filming all day today. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm late. I actually, so I'm like deep conditioning y'all because I'm trying to do a few things later today. So I'm trying to get filming done early. So I have my deep conditioner, everything in my hair. So that's what I was doing, being late, trying to do 100 different things. Hi, Diane. She says, hello, everyone. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Catherine. She said, you're good. That's good. Christy said, I just checked for you like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, as always, I was late. Hi, Z baby. She says, hi, pretty lady. I got my order. Whoop, whoop. Hey, boo. you like the little note I sent for you, Z baby? How's everyone doing today? I don't envision I'm probably going to be on very long because I do want to get back to filming, but I did want to come on and uh, answer any questions, talk to you about the upcoming July 4th sale. I feel like I just had a sale, but um, I said I was going to do a July 4th sale. I will be closing my store. You guys will still have the opportunity to order, but I will be away from July 10th through the 19th. So I am going to have, I think, like a 2-day sale, like July 4th to July 5th. So I can have everything out by July 9th. Um, I may extend it one more day, just depending on how many sales I get during that time. I'm hot because I was literally just like filming. Uh, but yes. So I don't know what Z Baby. Well, Z Baby had ordered a bunch of things that she had just got her package, but I know a few people wanted to. I know Ghibli wanted to order something on the July 4th weekend sale, so that will be up. Literally, I think on July 4th. I might do it like July 3rd at like midnight. So I want to just put it out there. I will send out an email notifications. But yeah, I'm actually going out of the country for a little while, so yeah, I will be away. I wanted to let you guys know, so just firsthand notice. So people can still, I'll say this, people can still order during that time, but obviously I won't be away. I won't be shipping orders out until I get back. Surprise. Let's see. Richie said, "What y'all ordering?" Which Z said, "Thank you for my note." You're welcome. You're welcome. I saw you had put in things Z baby, and I was like, "Oh." Judy said, "Chill, I'm dying in the heat with this hair and scalp." Just I done gave you my money early, Michelle. Rent was paid and some crumbs left. Yeah, I know. Look, there was an anniversary sale that was on, but I did say I was gonna do the July 4th. There was a few people I know who had mentioned they wanted to grab something. So I'm gonna give that opportunity since I will be closing soon. Uh there's the sale's not on the site yet, but if you wait till tomorrow, it'll probably be up there tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do July 3rd through the 5th. That way I'll give you guys 3 days. um you still have a day after Tip Tuesday's video to order something. Yeah, I'll probably do it just like that. um hey, Yolanda. Zia said, girl, I got the Onal shampoo bar, Onal deep conditioner, 32 ounce Onal. Oh, yes, she did. She definitely did. She got all the good stuff. We said drink water, y'all. Definitely. Like, remember last week I was complaining about it wasn't warm enough. Well, it's warm enough now. It's also warm in my house because I was making products. Because somebody ordered 4 of the 32 ounce deep conditioners. Like when I say y'all came in and showed out, y'all came in and showed out, and I'm here for it. Uh so the whole line, yeah. Me too. 432-ounce deep conditioners. This hair gulps products. Yeah, yeah. So listen, we out here. One more sale and then vacation time. I hope you guys are doing something fun for yourselves this summer, even if it's you're not going somewhere, crazy. But I really do hope y'all get a little R&R time. Today, obviously, I'm going to just mention, because I did title a video also, herbal oils. Last week, we did the DHT blocking oil. I had the DIY version from the previous week that you could use. And then, obviously, I used my DHT blocking one that I sell. If you have any questions about herbs for hair loss or the DHT blocker or nothing regarding that, please just let me know. I think I had told y'all that I had did a series at the free library. I put it in my email. So I finished up my series this past Wednesday. Let me tell you, don't vend and have a sale during the same week. Terrible decisions because you need to make enough inventory for everything. It was really kind of crazy, but I got it done. I was a bit tired this week, but I got it done. I'm gonna get multiple in the next sale because I love that deep conditioner. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you, Z, baby. Yeah, it is. Listen, that's what I have in my hair right now. I have other deep conditioners, but to me, that is my top fave. My top. Judy says, yes, Z, baby. I have hip length and use about 32 ounces and a half container per 2 weeks wash. That is so much conditioner. Like, do you have like really thick hair too? So like my hair, I have fine strands, y'all. So like um even though I apply products very liberally, and I guess also because I make them myself, like I can be as liberal as I want to be, but I just can't imagine having hip length hair, like how much more product I would use. So I feel you. I feel you. If you guys have any questions regarding anything in the herbs, the sale, me being away, or whatever, please just leave it in the chat. I'll stay on I will stay on for a little bit today. Are you guys doing anything fun like for July 4th? You guys doing a barbecue, doing a picnic? Are y'all, or like we already did that for Juneteenth, so we're not doing anything else? Judy says, yeah, and I have to take breaks because that's my upper body workout. Yeah, that is like, you remind me like Nika. She takes to wash her hair, I think it's like over the course of 2 to 3 days. And I mean, like, this is exactly why I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have that level of patience. But bless y'all and your beautiful hair. ZBB says, I have shoulder length and use 3 ounces each week. Yeah. And I probably go through about 6 to 7 ounces because I can go through my 12-ounce one in like two washes, and I'll usually open up a second one when I'm washing my hair on the second wash. Juby says, is moringa more strengthening than cassia? I would say I don't know the exact logistics of like which one has more. They both have good amounts of amino acids, so they're both pretty strengthening. I don't. I would have to do a little bit more research to determine if it's more strengthening. I personally don't think it is, but I do think also certain people respond differently to certain herbs. To me, honestly, I think cassia is. I don't know. I would say they're probably almost equally as strengthening, maybe. Because I find cassia to be strengthening, but not as strengthening as like, to me, not as strengthening as henna. I think henna is like really, really strengthening, and then cassia comes like a close second. But then some people say that cassia is like more strengthening than henna, and I think it would probably be contingent on your hair, right? But yeah, that's a good question. Arista said we just having pulled pork. We made burgers last weekend. Yeah, I haven't had pork in so long, but pulled pork sandwiches sound so good right now. Oh. Catherine says, my cousin is fighting over this with me. I have a question for you or any chemist on the chat. Catherine says, what is the best medium to extract the herbs, nutrients to facilitate the penetration into the pores? Water in form of a tea, carrier oils, or alcohol to make a tincture of the herbs. Okay, she says she wants to make a tincture of the Ayurvedic herbs to massage on her scalp. I can see that being drying, but it may work on an oily scalp. What is your opinion? I have multiple opinions. Honestly, there are multiple ways to let me just digress first and then kind of talk about this. There's actually a number of mediums to extract herbs. Uh, Herbal extractions through like alcohols or oils are also great. It's going to depend on the process and when it was done, how properly it was infused or the herbal nutrients were extracted, right? So just because I necessarily like make a tea or I make a tincture doesn't mean I've done it right, doesn't mean I've done it long enough, doesn't mean that the herbs have fully extracted all of their nutrients the way they can. And not every herb can be extracted in every by through every mechanism, right? So like when I was reading about saw palmetto is actually best extracted through oils or tinctures. It's not necessarily extracted in a tea. So brewing a saw palmetto tea, you're actually really not going to get the full benefits of saw palmetto, right? That has that male and female pattern baldness, which is why a lot of times you see me use it in an oil because it is the best way to extract the herbal nutrients from saw palmetto. So it's really hard. Like you really have to know the constituents of each herb and how they are best extracted, right? There's glycerin extractions, alcohol extractions, oil extractions, water extractions. Um, there's multiple ways and there's multiple reasons for doing so. So I can't say a one off all one way is completely better than the other. Also, alcohol extractions are not as drying as people necessarily think they are, right? It's a little complicated to explain. Um, but I think that they all have beneficial uses, right? And tinctures are great for the scalp. They can be really great for the scalp, really great for the skin. I wouldn't necessarily put the tincture on my hair, like the physical length of my hair, like I would maybe do for like a tea or an oil, where an oil you can do the scalp and the hair. Um, I would more say what herbs are you using for those processes, right? Like I said, some herbs do better in one way than the other. So that would be my biggest thing. And I don't think that putting a tincture on your scalp is going to be necessarily drying. You could have depends on the herbs that she's using, right? You're focused mainly on the alcohol component of it, but there's more to it than that, right? So like some people say um using products with a not excessively high pH, but with a high pH is so drying and so X, Y, and Z. Yes, that can be the case, right? But also, if you have enough conditioning products in there, you have enough other properties, right? So herbs have different properties. Some can be more conditioning, some can be more strengthening. That will also impact your tincture, that will also impact your oil, that will also impact your tea mixtures, right? Like some people who tell me like, "Oh, the tea you brewed this week was so strong for my hair, it made my hair feel dry," right? Versus like maybe I use a lower portion of herbs, I use more conditioning herbs so that the product doesn't feel so dry. So when you create a tincture, it's kind of the same thing. When you create an oil, it's the same thing. It's not a one off, one is 100% better than the other. Does that make sense? And I know that didn't really answer the question, but like I would be focused more on what type of herbs she's using for that. Um, Z Babe said, I'm going camping in the mountains, about 5,000 feet elevation. Anyone have advice about natural hair at that elevation? Ooh, I don't know. I actually don't know, Z Baby. That's a really good question. Um, Z Baby says, I will be, first of all, where are we going? She just said, I will be swimming in a regular pool, but maybe under a waterfall. Yeah, where are we headed, Z Baby? Kendall says, are there any herbs that can be used for growth and moisture for a refresher spray? Yeah, a ton of herbs. Like Kendall, you can use like aloe. If you're thinking about particularly for moisture, maybe marshmallow roots. Um, my head just drew a slippery elm. You can use amla powder. Uh, and all of those are great for especially amla. Even if you make a tea mixture and then put some amla in it, that's great. Also like green tea. Black tea, also really good. Heard this. I love your products. Thank you, boo. Judy says, don't forget to like the live, everyone. Yes, please do. Please do. Z Baby said, there's water, oil, alcohol, but what about masks when the full herb is sitting on your hair? Um, Mask treatments are very powerful. I think you can get a lot of properties from the mask treatment because generally you're adding water to the mask, right? It's herbs and water to create some type of mask paste, whatever they call it. It's a number of things. Um, I will say this, anytime you have a mask on, always use some type of heat, like, or a scarf, a head wrap, a scarf, something. Sit under a heater, a steamer, anything that creates more heat so that the benefits can like help penetrate into like the scalp, right? I think herbal treatments can be like full herb mask treatments can be very, very powerful. I also think, like I say, some herbs do well with water, some herbs do well better with oils, alcohol, like different forms of extraction. But um, let me just go back to what Catherine said. You see, I keep telling her about these things. I feel like one day I will come back home and find my crib burnt to the ground with all the crazy science she's up to. Yeah, it does make sense. Okay. Um, Reese says, when it comes to pool water, wet your hair and do the LOC method or LCO method to seal that in. The way the pool water has to fight to enter your hair and scalp. Yes. And honestly, I would probably always wet your hair, but I would also probably coat it with shea butter. Like, I found that to be probably one of the most effective ways. So you could do LCO, whatever, but like, or LOC, whatever works best for you. But instead of the oil, I would use the butter, and I would use shea butter particularly. Ziba said, thank you. Since it's not my backyard pool, I'm gonna pack that oil on. Yeah. I don't want to clog my pool's filter. I'm chaperoning at my son's camp in Big Bear Mountain. Oh, have fun. I love SoCal. It's been so long since I've been there. Juby says, I leave my gloss bar treatments overnight. Yep. And that's perfect. Like I said, you want to really create that environment for like penetration, right? Heat and time. I always tell you guys, heat and time are some of the best ways to make sure your body and the nutrients are being absorbed into your hair and scalp. Remember, your skin is the largest organ. That includes your scalp. So your skin, your scalp is the largest organ. So it will take up and soak up those nutrients. Kendall says, I have almond aloe vera powder, but was scared it wouldn't sit on top of my hair. You were scared it would sit on top of your hair? As long as you strain it. So like brew it like a tea, right? So I don't know if you've seen any of my videos. Usually I have like a cheesecloth. You could put the herbs into the cheesecloth and then put hot water. I'm special sometimes. I just pour the herbs in the thing, pour the hot water, stir it until it infuses. I try to let it steep. Minimal time would be an hour, but like as long as you can steep it for, right? 2, 3, 4 hours, the better. Make sure you continue stirring, right? Because the act of the stirring helps to agitate and get those herbs to kind of release their nutrients and benefits. Overnight is also great too if you have the time. And then use your cheesecloth, strain that out, and then use that mixture. And if you feel like you need something a little more conditioning, you can add in some glycerin. If you don't have glycerin, you can add in like some honey to it. Make sure you guys keep that in the fridge because anytime you guys are using any herbal tea mixtures without preservatives, just know it will go bad. I say it's the equivalent of if you brew a tea right now and you leave that tea out, the next day, are you going to drink that tea? 2 days you're going to drink that tea, 3 days you're going to drink that tea, there's going to be mold in it or bacteria in it. So, make sure you put that in the fridge and then just take it out when you need to use it again. She said, I'm scared of aloe. Why are you so scared of aloe? You have mentioned this multiple times now. Aloe to me is no different from any of the other herbs. Like, yes, some people's hair may respond differently, but that's kind of like herbal mask. I think, Julie, you should probably use it in like one of my gloss bars. Like, try the hibiscus fenugreek aloe gloss bar or hibiscus aloe gloss bar just to introduce it to your hair and see how you respond to it. Because yes, aloe has a low pH, but finding a good balance you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. Ziba says shea butter. Great. Yes, yes. Deborah says outstanding products, my dear. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you. Monica says, hi, didn't get access to the last sale. Is there another one soon? Yes, there'll be one starting tomorrow. So July 3rd through July 5th. There will be a sale, and yeah, it will just be a 3-day quick flash sale because I would just mention that I'm going away. So my store will be open, but I will let you guys know that I'm away. And if you order during the time of the 10th to the 19th, it won't ship out until, like the 20th. And Monix, I would highly recommend that you guys get on my email list. So if you go to my website, NowIamNappy.com, and you put, as soon as it like pops up, it's going to offer you a 20% welcome discount. Sign up to the email list so you don't miss the emails. I try to post myself on all social media. Sometimes I forget about YouTube, but I think I did with this sale. But just in case, if you sign up to my emails, you hopefully will never miss a sale again. Hey, Shamrika, she says, happy Sunday. Hey, Nicole, she says, hi, Michelle, happy nappy crew. Z Baby says, at 5,000 feet elevation, if I take down my flat tusk, will I have a frizzy mess? Any no. When I say I have no clue, but I do imagine this, and this is my deductive reasoning. I'm sure that high elevation, it's going to probably be a bit cooler, right? In the mountains, I'm sure it's going to be cooler. I feel like it's either going to be cooler and humid or it's going to be cool and dry. But there's water, so I would probably bank on it being cool and humid. So maybe frizz. Maybe frizz. You know? Judy says, I'd rather you prepare it for me. I use all your gloss bars, girl. I'm just scared. You're so crazy, girl. I don't trust myself to DIY with it. It sounds like one of those herbs that are hit or miss. It can definitely be hit or miss sometimes. Let me see. Z Baby says, Michelle, can you make your travel sizes 3 ounces, not 2 ounces? I need every ounce TSA allows of flying. Girl, girl, we had this whole discussion about what sizes we wanted. Y'all voted on the 2 ounces, so it's 2 ounces for now. Maybe at some point we'll do 3 ounces, but we stuck at 2 ounces. I get it, 2 ounces is small, but is what y'all voted on. Okay, it's what y'all voted on. I didn't know they were even allowing 3 ounces. In all honesty, from TSA. And you would think that I would know because I fly all the time, and I just usually put everything in my 2-ounce bottles and call it a day. Hey, Yvette, how are you? She says, hi, everyone. Monica says, I'm corresponding with you from the Caribbean. Very interested in trying the gloss bars. Yeah, currently, and I have said this, I'm working on trying to figure out. Okay, let me just international shipping. Gonna just give you purview because I have this question asked, and it hasn't been about the Caribbean in a little while, but in general, I could open up my shipping internationally, but the biggest issue right now is the custom fees, right? Because I can't calculate them on my site right away. All I can do is like how much UPS or USPS charges to ship, but every government has their own custom fees. And I'm trying to find a way that I can collect most of the custom fees for the most common places so that people can know what what it's going to cost you to import it. Because for some places, right, you have it pays $20 to $30 to ship to Canada, right? And then you'll get the product, and the government will hold it at the border, and it'll be another $20 to $30 to get the product delivered because of customs. So I'm trying to like navigate that. And I guess like if you're in the Caribbean and you have friends who ship you products or ship you things all the time, it's fine. But as a commercial business, I have to declare it as a business and not as a gift, right? And so that's where things get a little bit tricky. Because right now I think I do. I think I might even. I don't know. I think I might have turned it off. I think I had it, and there was just like a lot of questions. And people were like, "Oh, I already paid shipping," and I'm like, "It's not shipping. It's customs. Like every country has different customs and different fees. And because it's not like a gift, like maybe your family member sends you something, there's like extra charges and extra things, and it's so hard to determine, like, is it just the weight limit or is it an amount limit? And every country is different. Every country says some it's the weight limit and an amount. So if you go over 5 pounds and it's more than $100, they're going to tack on an additional tariff for it, or taxes for it. So it's a lot to navigate. And I've spoken with other brands who ship internationally, and they say this is the biggest issue they have, but they put just a notification on their site to say, like, this is the shipping fees, like custom fees will be charged at the discretion of your country. All right. But to me, I mean, that's fine. And maybe at some point that's what it will have to be, because there's no way for me to know every country's tariff custom. Like there's just not, it's not reasonable for me to do so. But setting for me realistic expectations when people are shipping or purchasing from me is really important to me, because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're being like screwed out of their money, right? That's like the biggest thing, and that's like the hardest thing I feel like I contend with, because I could just open it up and then you guys are dealing with, I pay $30 to ship, and then I have to pay my country another $30 or $40 for tariffs and fees, and so there's that. Yes. Sorry, that was my whole long thing. And I know, because you're saying you're interested in trying the gloss bars, I would say if you could find someone who, like maybe you purchase it and get it sent to their house, and then they ship it to you as a gift, right? Like they're gifting you that. I think that that might work as well. Okay. Ziva say, okay, good deduction. I'm guessing human. So Frizz, here I come. I totally missed the vote. Yeah. It was a couple lives ago. It was a little while ago, Z baby. When I was asking about what size should I get, when everyone was telling me to do the travel sizes or the sample sizes, because I've been like holding on. I'm not holding off. I just was not really interested in doing, me personally doing sample sizes. And we had that whole discussion probably for like I think like a couple weeks. We kind of just talked about it. But yeah. Uh Because of course I can't put it in my own 3 ounce bottles, but it's just nice to have the professional labels for each product. Yeah. Yes, yes. I do agree. I get it. I definitely understand. Jiva says, would a neem, tulsi, fenugreek, rosemary, essential oil, hair tea be okay for itchy hair or too many herbs? The heat has my scalp stinging. No, that's perfectly fine. That's not too many herbs. Not at all. Just know with the fenugreek, make sure if you're using the seeds, you soak them so that they can release their mucilage. But if you're using the powder, don't use too much powder, because it will make your tea very, very, very gelatinous and very difficult to spray. Um, but yeah, Rissy said they're using a butter instead of oil is such a good idea for the pool. I'm going to do that next time. Yeah, that's what I usually do. I haven't been to a pool this year. I don't know why I have not been to a pool this year. Let me digress. But usually, literally, whatever I have in my hair, I just put some water on it or use my leave-in, and then literally just coat that thing down with shea butter. And it really helps. It really helps a lot. Chrissy said, "There's no such thing as too many herbs in this day and age. There's products with 40 plus herbs in it." Yeah, I mean, Rissy, we kind of had a discussion about that like a couple weeks ago, or last week. I don't know. I think products with 40 herbs is just so unnecessarily excessive, and sometimes I don't say pointless, but for the mere fact pointless. Yes, there's no point in having 40 herbs. Um, do people do it? Yes. Are there maybe some benefits? Sure, but you probably can get the same benefits from maybe 5 to 10 herbs, 3 herbs, 4 herbs that you get with having 40 plus. Because like I said, there's different properties, like you can have antifungal, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antibacteria. One herb can have all of those properties. You could have hair growth, you can have fighting hair loss. So you can have different herbs for different things, but 40 plus to me is unnecessarily excessive. um Juice says so seeds are better than yes. I especially if you're making it as a tea. I think the powder is great if you're making like a hair mask, right? So I don't know if you've ever dealt with fenugreek in any real capacity, maybe than like my gloss bars, but like fenugreek powder, once it's hydrated, it produces a thick mucilage, like a thick gelatinous. The whole powder becomes crazy. The longer you let that mucilage sit, the the more mucilage you will create. Um, so the seeds, at least, just the if you put the seeds in the water and you leave it like overnight, the water gets like a yellowish tint. The water does have a little bit of a film, but nothing like the ground up seeds in the powder form. So just just reference. I've definitely used fenugreek powder before to make a tea, but I have to like strain it quick and then not let it get very gelatinous. Otherwise, I'm just spraying like thick globs of stuff on my hair, and it's not helpful. Catherine says, please tell my cousin that her oil is 50 plus. Yeah, I've seen listen, I have seen people put a ridiculous to me amount of herbs in a product. And I guess my question is like, is it wasteful? Probably. What is the intent? Like you can say every herb has different properties, right? Some have obviously more focus on DHT blockers. Some might have, more focus on like hair loss. Some can speed up the growth phase, but like you can probably have a decent oil covering a wide range of things within 6 to 7 herbs. 10 at most, like 10, like my herbal oil, the one I sell, has 10 herbs, and it literally some strengthening, um conditioning, I would say moisture, but conditioning, hair loss, hair growth, anti-inflammatory. Like each herb is targeted for a particular reason. So I don't know, after 50 herbs, like what are we doing? Like what are you really doing? And I want to know, are you really seeing that many benefits from using 50 herbs? I would challenge her to be like, use 10. Like again, use one herb for whatever properties. And you have to understand each herb has multiple properties, like so many of them. Like neem has hair growth, hair loss, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antibacteria. Like it has like 6 different properties in one herb. So like if you utilize your herbs properly, if you're not just, I don't want to say being extra or being wasteful or just thinking like, if I put the most, I'm going to get the most benefits. You just might not, because it just may be a moot point. Um, but I digress, because that is my soapbox. Because as someone who makes oils and someone who uses herbs, and not just using herbs, like I try to research all of the herbs, why I'm using it, and trying to make an intelligent use of things and not a wasteful use of things, right? Um, Creating a lot of waste is, even though it's a natural product, right? It's still like, what are we doing, and why are we doing it? Why are we using 50 herbs? Why are we using 40 herbs? What are these properties that we're doing? Like, not, let's be intentional about things. That's like my biggest thing, especially when it comes to herbal hair care, just hair care in general, being intentional about the products we're using, why we're using it, how we're using it. Are we using it correctly? Like I said, some herbs can only be extracted through water. Some herbs can only be extracted through oils, or not herbs, but like, yeah, their benefits can only be extracted through oil. So just having that real knowledge and understanding is just really important. Um, Juby said, no, just your gloss bars. I have to only apply them to my scalp and oil my ends because it won't be enough for me. Yeah. Yes, because you got all that hair. You got all that hair. I will say though, Julie, like, do you know Brown and TT on here? She Her Instagram name, here I go giving secrets away. Her Instagram name is Ebony Naps. She has, I think, beyond hip length hair. She uses my gloss bars, but she used the slippery elm with I think it was a fenugreek amla one, and neem, or it was the fenugreek hibiscus amla. One of those two bars. She posted it on her Instagram though. And she said like one bar was enough. The slippery elm and the fenugreek gloss bars like expand way more than anything, because the fenugreek expands when it's hydrated and the slippery elm expands. And she uses that on her hip length hair, and she only used 1.5 bars and had left over. Not every gloss bar is like that. Some, like the hibiscus and aloe, doesn't like expand a lot. The hibiscus fenugreek aloe expands a lot. The amla fenugreek aloe expands, and the slippery elm amla aloe bar. Like you get so much from that. So I would say it also does depend on um, the type of gloss bars you get. Phyllis says, just got my gloss bars yesterday. In 2 weeks, I'm ordering the hair oil. Thank you, girlie. You're welcome, sis. You're welcome. Thank you for supporting too. Deborah said, this is a needful conversation for sure. I think sometimes we do way too much, hoping that if we add more, we will get more. Oh yeah, Deborah, 100%. I think that is 100% that mentality, 100% the attitude that we have. I also just try to tell people, like, really, um, herbs are herbs are very powerful, right? And we want to utilize them in the best way possible, but we don't want to be overly excessive. And that's with anything in life, like moderation. Moderation is key. And Catherine, I see your comment. She says it's for prevention. Down the road, her hair will be amazing. I told her she needs to be careful. She might kill her follicles. Only God raises the dead. Yeah, it's just listen. It's really about balance. It really is. And a lot of times, like I said, if you're doing that, it's just there is no. It's probably a moot point at that point. You're just being excessive, and you can still get those same benefits and properties probably from 10 good herbs. Save your money and save your time and energy. And if you want to alternate and rotate and see which ones work best for you, because I feel like if you're not seeing any, and I can't say that right, because there are times that I feel like, oh, I don't feel like I'm seeing any true benefit, but like when I look at my hair and I look at how it's grown and how thick it's gotten over the years, especially being on YouTube, like having video reminders, being able to look back is a true testament of time. Like, not only is my hair longer, my hair has increased in density over time. And that to me is, and I've said this over like multiple times, that to me is the power of using Ayurvedic treatments consistently, not one off, not for a month, not for 2 months, but there were follicles that had become inactive over time. And this is for everyone, right? As we age, stress, life, um, genetics, whatever you want to call it, can slow down hair follicles. They become inactive over time. Me using Ayurveda over the years and consistent use of it, I saw new hair growing in thin areas. My hair became more dense. And I won't say it's not like like I have more hair follicles now. It's just that the follicles that were inactive for so long were now being activated by the herbal treatments, the scalp massages, the consistent use of it over time. And my hair's grown out. I'm like, if I literally look at my back at my videos from 5 years ago, till today, the drastic difference in my hair density is to me remarkable outside of the fact that my hair has grown a lot, and y'all know I cut my hair all the time. This is the first year I'm not cutting it, but it's just something for me as a reminder to people, like, I didn't need 500 herbs or 50 herbs to do so. I just need a consistent regimen, consistent use of herbal treatments, and that will lead to the best results, right? And knowing that, okay, maybe if I'm really stressed, and I need to maybe focus on more adaptogenic herbs, like focusing on ashwagandha or holy basil or, like tailoring things to your lifestyle and where you're at. Um, so that your hair will be, the best. Because life be lifing, right? Y'all know I had my divorce last year. I had so many changes. I left my job. I moved. Like I had so much drama going on in my life, and all of a sudden my gray hairs were just popping out of nowhere. But like stress can cause gray hair. Stress can cause hair loss. Stress can cause a number of things. And for me, it was like really focusing and tailoring my regimen to include not just topical treatments, but also internal herbal treatments to manage and deal with things. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I was on my soapbox for a little while. Jimmy said, okay, we'll check her out. Yeah. Thank you, Rissy. Shalrika says, we'll have to watch the replay, but everyone have an amazing day. Thank you, dear. Michelle, I emailed you. I will follow up later. Thanks for everything. Okay, I will check my email. I admit I have not checked my email. I've been swamped this past week. Like I said, I had a couple events, but I need to like go through my emails. Um, Monica said, I know you just mentioned it, but again, what are the 5 best herbs for any hair type, please? And Julie says, Bringraj, Amla, Brahmi are awesome, Monix. Um, Monix, I would say 5 best herbs for hair, and I would focus on covering a multitude of things. So, like Amla would be top for me. When I agree with you, Julie, on this. Amla. And I'm gonna give you 3 options for this. For strengthening, henna. But if you don't like the dye color release from henna, then I would either recommend like cassia or brahmi or bringraj because those are both herbs that contain a lot of strengthening properties. I think aloe is actually really good, but if you hate aloe, I would say neem. And I'm talking about for antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial properties. Um, Fenugreek for also slip, moisture, has fights dandruff, antibacteria, and really good for hair growth. And there's a patent component in fenugreek that helps to stimulate hair growth in all living creatures. And what would be my 5th herb? Because I have a few. Moringa. Moringa would be it. Moringa would be my 5th herb for me. Because moringa has like 92 of your 102 vitamins and minerals needed. So if you have deficiencies, even in like your hair, your scalp, from iron to vitamin A, vitamin D, your B vitamins, all your amino acids, moringa is that herb. So yeah, that would be my five best herbs. Um, Phyllis said, "Girl, we love your soapbox." Oh, thank you, thank you. I know, like sometimes, you get a very curated content from you. Obviously, when I'm like filming YouTube, but I really am passionate about teaching about hair care and sharing my education that I've learned and trying to help as many people out as possible because um, I think a lot of times we're in the era of do the most, right? And we're in the product junkie era and we're in the everyone buy, shop, 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 spend, and so I just want people just to be intentional about what they're doing, the choices they're making, the products they're choosing, the ingredients they're choosing, and just be consistent when it comes to creating your regimen, creating a realistic regimen for yourself, right? So for me, washing my hair once a week is my realistic regimen. But for some people, that's too much. So for them, every 2 weeks is optimal, right? Like naturally, Nika, she's not on here, but she washes her hair every 2 weeks. She also has like thigh length hair. And so, you have to create the best standard for you and the most consistent standard for you so that you can maintain that, right? Don't set yourself with too many unrealistic expectations and unrealistic things because then you won't do it. When I spoke at my event this past week, right, there was a woman there who was like, I have all the good products. She's like, my biggest thing is I'm not consistent. So, I recommended her to like join my YouTube because I said, even if nothing else, sometimes watching YouTuber every week having to wash and do her hair is a kind of reminder for you, like, okay, let me try to get a routine. I was like, join our challenges and stuff because I do think they help hold you accountable, right? And maybe it challenges you to do something that you haven't done before and maybe stop viewing our hair as something like, oh, I gotta go do my hair, but like this is my self-care time, this is my me time. I'm making sure my crown and my beauty is beautiful and I'm thriving and growing my hair out, and this is me time. So that's really why I'd be passionate on my little soapboxes about things. It's moringa. Wonder says my top 5 are fenugreek, aloe vera, clove, hibiscus, and amla. Yeah, Wonder, I want to get back into clove. I didn't do it for this challenge, but I'm bringing the next challenge we're doing, which I don't know when. I haven't thought about it yet. I definitely want to bring back cloves because I really love cloves and they have so many good properties for really growing the hair. So yeah. Catherine said, would rice bran oil be strengthening? I see that rice water and protein trend just working. Just wondering. Um, I don't think rice bran is strengthening. Now, I'm gonna look really quickly because I don't. I should really go do is pull up my little book that I have. So there's poly and mono unsaturated fat, omega 3s and omega 6 fatty acids. Um, I will look up. I need to look up a little bit more of the nutrients. There's probably is some strengthening component to it based off of just what I just read. But just because it has some strengthening properties doesn't mean it may be a strengthening oil, depending on some of the other components in it. Yeah, I would need to do a little bit more digging, but it does have some strengthening properties. Basically, would rice bran oil add protein to strands? I don't think it will add protein. There might be some amino acids in it, right? So it can help build up, be the building blocks to a stronger hair, right? So amino acids are basically the precursors to protein. You have enough amino acids, they create a protein chain. Um, which is like when I talk about to you guys about hydrolyzed proteins are basically just like amino acids broken down so that your hair can actually absorb and penetrate them and use them beneficially. Uh, so it would probably it's not going to add protein, but it will probably aid in your hair being stronger. And Catherine, how are you using it? Just curious. Diane says my hair loves cloves also. Yeah, it did. My hair did really well with cloves. And honestly, like I think with the DHT blocker oil, I am going to add a few more herbs to it. And in particular, I actually am going to add moringa to the DHT blocking oil. I'm not going to increase the price, but there's no way that now. Sorry, my watch is trying to send a voice note to someone. Um, Now that I've done a lot more research on it, I feel like it needs to be included in it. So I will be adding that. And I'm also thinking about doing some type of like oil with cloves as well. So, just stay tuned. There's a lot of herbs, there's a lot of benefits, there's a lot of properties, there's a lot of things that we'll learn and grow in this channel. So I hope to like kind of get back to doing a little bit of like education about different herbs because I have a bunch of new herbs I want to introduce you guys to, but at the same time, I also am like, I'm trying to formulate this hair gel that I'm trying to get together for the summer. It's already like July, and I'm like, oh my god, Michelle, but I'm trying not to like kill myself and give myself some grace for it. But the biggest issue that I'm trying to like work through is not having it flake with the other products I'm currently already having. Catherine says, just asking. I'm not using it. I use your Ayurvedic oil. It's simple and effective for me. It's just the rice water trend that I'm seeing on YouTube. Oh, yeah. The rice water trend. I mean, I'll say this. I did a whole rice water challenge 3 years ago at this point. I think it was 3 years. Maybe longer, maybe sooner. I don't really, can't even tell you at this point. Um, there are benefits to rice water done the right way. But me, um, I felt like I was being very wasteful with the rice, right? And some of the properties of the rice, like the quercetin, um, I forget the other components in the rice water that people were using for hair growth, for strengthening the hair from the inside out, are found in herbs. So moringa actually contains quercetin, and like many of the main components found in rice water that people were trying to use for those properties, like hair growth and strengthening the hair strand, were literally found in a bunch of other herbs. And so I literally was like, I'm throwing away pounds of rice every week because I don't eat rice like that. Um, and yes, I would like give some to my dog, but I just found it to be to me very wasteful. And if I wanted those same not herbals, but I wanted those same like properties and benefits, I could find them in herbs where I feel was definitely much less wasteful. So yes, I think like I say, I think trends are gonna just come, go, and fluctuate. And uh, But you have to just stick with the consistency of whatever currently is working. Like, don't get too caught up in every last trend. Rice water works, but you have to keep using it. I couldn't do it anymore. I always made way too much. It was always like 10 to 16 ounces of wash day. Yeah. And like I said, Rissy, I did it too. Like, I didn't have any issues other than the wasteful the wastefulness for me. Um, and obviously the women in China who use rice water, yes, they use a completely different method than a lot of people are currently using, and they also live a completely different lifestyle, and a lot of their genetics do aid in them having that strong and healthy hair. Asian hair is different from a lot of people's hair. Okay, the structure of their hair is just, it's very unique. It's not like, I'll say this, it's still still keratin, proteins, and all that, but they, I believe they actually have a higher protein content than other strands of hair. Um, every hair is a little bit unique. Every texture, every culture, I'm going to use it like that. Hair is a little bit different, and genetics plays a large role, and their diet plays a large role in how their hair is. But yes, does rice water work? Sure, but to me, does other herbal treatments work more effectively? Mm-hmm. Catherine says, one last question. When a shampoo has amino acids, would it add protein to the strands, or amino acids are just softening? So, Catherine, amino acids. Okay, I'm gonna like try to explain a little bit scientifically with you guys. So, the biggest issue, or the biggest thing when it comes to like proteins and amino acids, are, yes, they are meant to be strengthening, but it can also be softening. And I'm going to explain it like this. If your hair gets weathered, right, from washing your hair, combing your hair, styling your hair. So if you think of like your strand of hair, and over time that cuticle gets ragged from combing, from styling, whatever. So if you would think of it almost like kind of how like my tree leaves are. So that's how the cuticle kind of like covers. So it usually lays flat, but over time, when you style your hair, you rub your hair, it starts to lift. So the cuticles are kind of like lifted, like just like this actually. And so when you use those amino acids, when you use hydrolyzed proteins, so, okay, so when your hair is like this, right, your hair doesn't retain moisture as well as it could. You're losing moisture quickly. Maybe it's harder for you to like, maybe your hair gets hydrated quickly, but it doesn't last for a long time. Your hair is just not giving what it used to give, right? So when you use your proteins and your amino acids, even though they are strengthening, they are strengthening and reinforcing the spaces in between the hair cuticle, right? So these big gaps, they're just kind of like closing them, allowing the cuticle to kind of go back and lie flat, like fill in those gaps in between. So yes, it is strengthening the hair strand, right? Because your hair is a protein, right? You have to understand your hair is a protein. So it's losing like pieces, so to speak. You're just like bonding and rebuilding in a way the proteins back in your hair. So your hair is naturally hydrophobic, right? So it wants to block out moisture. So you're just now like keeping that cuticle nice and flat. So your hair can be much softer. It retains moisture for longer. Your hair stays conditioned for longer. When you put stuff on your hair, it lasts for a longer period of time. So I know we think of protein as like this, like my hair should feel so strong, and it will feel stronger because you know what, those gaps are no longer gaps. Those gaps are filled in, so it feels stronger, but it should also help you to retain moisture, so your hair should end up feeling softer afterwards. That's like the best way I could try to explain it. So honestly, having amino acids in your shampoo is probably one of the best times to have amino acids in a product, and same with proteins, right? Because shampoo lifts the cuticle. And that's when you want the cuticles to be those little broken strands, little broken pieces on the cuticle. You want them to be rebound during that chemical process. Shampooing is a chemical process, deep conditioning is a chemical process. During that process, that's what you want to happen. And then you can deep condition, et cetera, afterwards. But your hair should feel, it might feel again initially a little bit rough, right? When the process is happening. But afterwards, your hair should be like, okay, your cuticle's soft, your cuticle's closed. So every amino acid and every protein is not created equally, right? There are smaller amino acids or smaller proteins. There are larger ones. I actually have a video on proteins in general. And I explained all of this in there. So that's why protein treatments don't respond the same for everybody, right? Some people, and this is not a perfect general match, right? But like some people who have high porosity hair do well with large film forming proteins, right? Because they have their hair is really porous, those cuticles are really lifted. So the film forming larger proteins, right? They just have a longer amino acid chain. So like they just coat the hair in a larger barrier. So the hair is better. Those with low porosity hair might do well with smaller proteins because their cuticles are already lie a little bit flat, and the smaller proteins or the smaller amino acids can kind of like go in and easily go into the hair. Having a good mix of both the small and the large, where some can go deeper into the hair shaft, while others can be more of a film forming barrier, is also really good. So it's hard to say, like, one might make your hair feel a little bit more soft, like the film forming may be make your hair feel softer, while maybe the smaller ones might make your hair feel stronger. It's not an exact match. Sometimes the smaller ones might make your hair feel strong, while the larger ones may make your hair feel soft. um and this is where I tell people, like, if your hair felt like trash with one set of proteins, doesn't mean that your hair hates all proteins. It just means it doesn't like that type of protein. It prefers maybe smaller, or maybe it prefers larger proteins or larger amino acids. So I know this is me again on the tangents of tangents, but this is me just trying to like help to explain, like, sometimes we see those things and we automatically it's assumed as bad. And obviously I can say this to say, like, also too much amino acids and too much proteins can also be, bad for you as well. Too much of anything in excess can be um harmful for you, can make your hair too hard. Like, your hair is a protein, but it needs a balance of protein and moisture. So if you just kept using protein, 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 like, your hair is going to be hard. But if you're using it in the right frequency, is what I'm looking for, you have the perfect balance, and your hair will be just like perfect all the time, you know. Um, Ju says great. I get it. Great explanation. Okay. And I do highly recommend, Catherine, to definitely check out the video. Let me see if I can honestly find the video I did. I think it was with my nephew, where we kind of go into. And I can't find it now. Message me if you have Instagram. Message me, or maybe I'll put it in the Facebook group. So that way, I do think it's really good for people to understand, because I always talk about how certain things are very villainized, and protein is definitely one of them. So I just try to help people have the most and best understanding of it. And a lot of people who suffer from not being able to retain moisture for longer tell me they've never used protein, or their hair hates protein, and then they use a protein treatment one time and they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, protein is actually your best friend. I really can't stress that enough. And it's just about using it in the proper moderation for your hair. Noah said, hi guys, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, dear. Z Baby says, where'd you get your henna and indigo? I'm looking for a trusted brand. So right now I am sourcing mine directly from India. Somebody contacted me. But if you're not buying in bulk like I am, before this, I was using, it's in my Amazon store. Oh my God, I just, Newport henna was what I was using. And the indigo I purchased from Henna Soup, because she was one of the first and only people I know who had good quality indigo. And I just always referred to her. Even now, for my indigo, I usually just refer to her and her brand. But yeah, so she also does sell henna. You could also purchase your henna from her too. So she's great people. And that's Khadijah over there at Henna Sook. And it's henna and then SOOQ. Lucky number 14 says, hello, I'm at work, but I'm trying to listen at work. Well, thank you for supporting and listening, sis. Catherine says, I get it. Great explanation. I'm just trying to avoid overdoing protein. I totally get it. And I will say this: finding balance is really important when it comes to it. But if you feel like you're having your regimen, like your good regimen, your hair feels good, like you're doing enough moisture and protein, I would definitely, just stick with what's working. Lydia says, I'm so grateful to your channel. I've learned a lot and seeing amazing results immediately since I stay in Uganda, East Africa, the hub of shea butter and all these natural herbs. I'm just sorted. Yay, yay. I love it. Listen, if I could source my shea butter directly from Uganda, I would. I go to a company who I, I guess they're working directly with someone from Africa because that's where they're getting it from. But I get like the 50-pound bags of shea butter at a time. It's kind of crazy, but I love it. Catherine, fine. It's fine. I will browse your channel. Thank you. You're welcome. And it's the video. If you look through the channel, it's the video where it's like me and my nephew I think on the thumbnail. Zubia said Hinasuk. Thank you. You're welcome. I was thinking about Hinasuk. Yeah. I love Khadijah over at Hinasuk. And she was the first person I ever used henna with. So I used henna like 13. No, we're now in year 15 because I'm old now. When she had just opened her company 14, 15 years ago, I purchased my first henna from her. I went natural right around that time, and I was on my hairboard, naturality.com, and she was the first brand that I ever used, and I stuck with her for years, for years. And then when I launched my gloss bar, my henna gloss bars. I started using Newport henna, but then I got some contacts in India, so they shipped me some henna now. So, it's all about doing this. But if I can send someone her way, because I do know and I do trust her quality of henna and I do trust her quality of indigo. There's not a lot of products, let me tell you, and I it's sometimes difficult to trust certain herbs, but she not only are they like good quality, but they're also ground finely enough, which I think is really important for our hair. Some of the other brands I've worked with, they still leave like roughage. I don't even want to know like what's mixed with some of the herbs. So for our type 3 4 hair, those who are in the type 3, I think finding herbs that rinse easily that are finely ground is the best. Outside of having good quality henna, especially if you're using it for your hair, which needs to be body art quality henna. Do not take anything else. And indigo too, because they a lot of companies will mix indigo with a bunch of different other things, and you won't actually be having indigo. So, yes. All right. Is there any more other questions? I'm actually going to be signing off very soon. I need to finish doing my hair and filming. Then I gotta go because I'm gonna be outside a little bit tonight. But feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, I hope you guys take some time to do something out for yourself. It is a weekend. A lot of people have time off, whether it's spend time with your family, spend time with your friends. If you're like me, because I was like, my family is not here, my friends are my family. So make sure you spend time with people that make you feel good, and that you're loved and cared for. Let's see. Juice, is it possible to make henna oil or tea? Oh yeah, I actually my Stimulate Ayurvedic oil has henna in it. Yes, and in one of our tea challenges last year, we made a henna tea. You brew the tea you use the henna on the bottom, you pour the hot water, you stir it until the dye releases. So the henna will be like the tea will be very red on top, and the henna powder will settle to the bottom. So yes, you can use both of those. They give a lot of strengthening properties, but not just strengthening, but all the properties that are in the regular henna are really great with the oil and the tea. Or is it yay outside? Yes. Zivia said hit the like button, y'all. Yes, definitely hit the like button. Thank you for coming to my live. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. If it's something I can answer before, I will answer it before, but if not, I'll try to answer it during Tip Tuesday. I will be live again the following Sunday when will I be doing my lift check there? I don't know, because this is the last week of our challenge. But y'all are 1 week behind me, so I'll probably wait for the following week. Yeah, but this Sunday will probably be the last live because then the following week I'll be away on vacation. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned, y'all. Okay, let me see. Michelle, have you done the video tutorial showing how to do head wraps? I have an old video, like one of the first videos I did when I got back on YouTube after being off of YouTube for like 12 years was a head wrap video. Oh God, it's probably so terrible, but if you feel the need, you could definitely go check it out. All right, you guys. Thank you, Rissy. She says bye. Thank you, Catherine. Bye. Bye, Jubilee, Michelle. Have a fun 4th of July. Thanks for the swift and excellent customer service. You're welcome, my dear. Phyllis says, enjoy the 4th and thank you for the live chats. I've learned so much. You're so welcome. Rissy, oh, I miss the lives. Well, I'll be back after vacation, but y'all know I need a little break, y'all. I need a little decompressed break. So I love y'all, but I will be back. I'll probably just take like maybe 2 weeks, but I will be back, and also I'll be filming not this week, but next week my length check from the challenge. So you guys can see, how long my hair's grown, even though this wasn't necessarily about hair growth, but I grew. Hi, baby. Faisal said everything since the beginning. Awesome show. I'll order her product, but she just told me I will order her product, but she just told me it did not work. Probably cookie blocked. What do you mean? What do you mean, Faisal? Oh, she tried to go to my website and she couldn't do it. Oh, maybe she blocked the cookies. Oh, probably. Drink water, enjoy the holiday. Yes, thank you. I'm actually gonna go drink some water right now. All right, Unique said later. I'm excited to try the purple shampoo bundle. Yes, let me know how it is. T's Natural Hair says, how long can we keep braids in with extensions? That's a loaded question. I would say how thick are the braids, how small are the braids, and what's your upkeep like? But I try not to go more than like 2 months with braid extensions, honestly, because sometimes I just find the takedown process and the lint bundle knot that creates more issues than that. But for me, usually 2 weeks. I've done to 3 months before, so yeah. Who was the chick you mentioned on Instagram? Her name is Ebony _ Naps. Oh. Ebony, I'm gonna put it _ Naps. And then there's Naturally Nika too. You can definitely, but Ebony Naps is who I was talking about with the gloss bars. But if you want to see two other hip length ladies, and you see Naturally Nika on here before, but because Naturally Nika got a new Instagram, but she's back. Hers is naturally _ Nika _ But yeah, they're gonna be like, who did you send my way, Michelle? A bunch of people must follow me. But yeah, bye, Diane. Actually, thank you. Catherine said thank you. Deborah says thank you for all you teach, create, and all you do. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nika. She's back on the IGs. All right, you guys. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day. Hope you guys do something for yourselves. Wash your hair if you have to. Deep condition if you need to, because that's what I'm doing under here. I mean, y'all will see in the video. Check y'all on Tip Tuesday. Bye, y'all.